team, I'm excited to be rolling out a 3-part series on the 3 pillars of proper human nutrition, or I'll say goal-driven human nutrition. So if you're looking at, say, a diet or a nutritional intervention strategy, or you're interviewing a coach, you can bring these 3 pillars up to empower you and help guide you in making the right decision. And this is something that we're very, very passionate about, because right now as a society, our obesity has gone up to the point where life expectancy is starting to go down despite advances in modern medicine. And the reason for obesity going up, or one of the reasons, is we're paralyzed. We have marketers, gurus, influencers domesticating us on their beliefs of what nutrition should look like for you. So they're taking their attachments and their self-domestications on what they feel works great for them for nutrition, and then putting that on your plate, so to speak. So our goal is to empower you, and these 3 pillars will help empower you to sniff out the nonsense and to make the right decisions for yourself. So we're gonna start today with the first pillar, which is lifestyle. So what are some factors that go into lifestyle in nutrition? Well, let's take ourselves back. Actually, we don't even have to go back in time. We can go right here, right now. And let's look at environment. So if I'm an Inuit of of Greenland, or I live in the Pamir Mountains, or the Bayou of Malaysia, I'm going to be eating, because of environmental factors. Okay, the Pamir Mountains, there's very, very little plant growth, and the Bayou of Malaysia, there is not as much plant growth as well. If I'm living in those demographic regions, because of my environment, I'm going to be eating a lot of protein. I'm going to be eating a very protein-rich diet. That's just going to be what works for this aspect of my lifestyle, which is environment. So if I went there as a guru and told someone that, hey, you need to do the opposite of what your environment is making sustainable for you, it's not gonna work. It might work, maybe they'll have food shipped in or find a way to make it work, but it would be very anti-environment. And if you look at like the work of James Clear, anyone that does habit formation training, we all know that our environment is a huge indicator of our habits. So now on the opposite side, say I'm from the Crete. They follow a very Mediterranean approach. So they're eating a lot from the sea, and they're also farming. So their macronutrient distribution might be, because of environment, more of a 50-50, okay? So, or actually probably a little bit lower on the protein, maybe 35-40% total calories, and then the rest is gonna be mainly carbohydrate with a little bit of fat. So if I were to go there and say, hey, I need you to eat like the Inuit of Greenland, that's just not gonna work for them. It wouldn't work for their environment, being farmers, all right? So environment is absolutely huge. If you look here this is coming from Indiana, here corn and soybean is a very, very hot crop. That we tend to find those pretty hot crops in the Midwest period. So in the Midwest, it's very easy and accessible for us to eat substances or foods that are made from corn. So we tend to have a very high carbohydrate approach here in the Midwest of America. So again, that's mainly environmental. So let's look at the second aspect of lifestyle. So the first would be our environment. The second would be cultural. Okay, I grew up Polish, so there are certain cultural foods that I was exposed to, that I lived in harmony with, that worked within that culture. You might hear maybe Italians having certain cultural foods, or people having certain comfort foods. Again, that is a subcategory under their lifestyle. If you look in the biblical times, in the prodigal son, the son returns to his dad after taking a long time off, and the dad says, kill the fatted calf. So in that society, the fatted calf, that was the thing to eat based off culture. So living in harmony with foods is absolutely huge, because when we talk about those people from those different environments, none of them live necessarily in the state of disease as if they were eating in a caloric abundance, which we're going to talk about in future episodes here. So they're living in harmony with the foods that their environment provides them to have, all right, and within their culture. So lastly, under lifestyle is just going to be personal beliefs. I used to have a belief growing up as a bodybuilder that I had to eat in a certain way in order to put muscle mass on, and really nobody could tell me the difference. So 10 years ago, if you talked to me about fasting or intermittent fasting or caloric cycling or anything like that, it didn't fit my beliefs. So I wasn't going to be able to follow that protocol, regardless of what type of guru was domesticating their particular beliefs on me. So personal beliefs or religions. Some religions eat in a certain format where other religions gravitate away from other foods. Okay, so that's huge. So if you are pitched on a nutritional intervention strategy or a diet, or you're talking to a coach, and there's red flags going up, like, ooh, this doesn't work with my culture, this doesn't work with my religion, oh man, I don't know where I would even buy some of those foods, that's just not readily available to me, then you're probably going to move on in your search for a coach or your search for information on nutrition, especially if the source of that nutrition isn't able to adapt and say, hey, okay, you're from the Pamir Mountains, just as an example, great, we can make you very healthy with the palette of food that you have from the Pamir Mountains. Oh, okay, you're from the plains of Indiana and you were born and raised Polish in this environment, you have these traditions. Great, we're going to turn you into a very healthy person, a very goal-driven person, low body fat, great medical work, all that, or blood work, all of that, given the framework of your lifestyle. So that is why I'm starting this series with lifestyle. If someone is pitching you, or a marketer, or a guru, or a doctor, or a scientist, or me, or anyone else is pitching you something that doesn't fit in your lifestyle, shut it off. And it can be very tough to shut it off. I know me, I would buy into a lot of science and be like, oh man, but they have studies. We talked yesterday about how studies can be manipulated and correlation does not prove causation. Okay, so very, very important that we understand that. A lot of people that are pushing their beliefs on nutrition, they're using correlation. They're saying, hey, if you eat more of this, well, cancer goes up. Well, it may have nothing to do with what you're eating. It may have everything to do with other behaviors that people in that study might have been engaging in, such as excessive alcohol consumption or smoking that is causing the cancer. It has nothing to do with what they're eating. So again, there's a lot of ways that marketers can use to domesticate you into their beliefs. But if you just say, hey, this doesn't work with my lifestyle, then you can move on and not be domesticated by them. And that's very, very huge. And again, if you are talking to a guru or a coach, ask, do they have multiple platforms? Say that you want to try something like plant-based out. You don't know if it's really going to work for you, but do they have a resource that can give you the opportunity to try that approach? Or say that you want to do a little higher protein, okay? Maybe you're not sure if that's going to work within your lifestyle. Maybe, maybe not. Ask them, do you have resources? Can you coach me on that strategy? And if you find that they are clinging to their self-domesticated, their beliefs, their attachments, then they're going to be pushing their lifestyle on you and their beliefs on you the entire time that they're coaching you. And there's going to be a little bit of this. And here's the thing, a lot of times we will buy into other people's lifestyle. We will buy into other people's domestications, and it will work for a short time. But because it's not part of our holistic lifestyle, it's not coming from us, it's not coming from our ability to make a decision, it's coming from the outside, then we go right back and we regain that weight. So we don't have a weight loss program. Here in America, we're very easily sold on things in the short term, and then we get short-term fixes, but because we never adjust, we're addressing the symptoms here, we're not addressing the root cause, we tend to go right back. And that's why you're never gonna see a Biggest Loser reunion, all right? Is the Biggest Loser, they all gain it back, and you'll never see a reunion. We have a 95% weight regain program in this, we have a 95% weight regain problem. And that's why I'm so passionate about increasing awareness and education so that your shackles are off and you're not paralyzed by the diet industry and you're empowered to make your own decisions that fit within your lifestyle. We're going to discuss the second 2 pillars in future episodes, so definitely tune in because that is one of 3 pillars that is going to be able to help you decide if this nutritional intervention strategy that you're being pitched on, or maybe that you're reading about, or maybe that a guru is talking to you about, is right for you. So again, the first is lifestyle. Tune in and we'll nail out the second 2.